Hello there. This is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another podcast. I love my freedom. And this is going to be more of a ramble. Usually giving some commentary on something that's happening or my reaction or giving some game or increasingly lately how to acquire power. And this is kind of, this going to touch on all of that, right? You know, I love just having freedom. You know, I want to thank everybody that supports me, because everyone who supports me, even some detractors, you allow me to have freedom. But, you know, that's what it's all about. Being able to live life on your own terms. It really is. Because those who listened to my Sunday morning simulcast yesterday, right? You'll know the other week, Ron just didn't feel like doing anything one day. I did not feel like doing anything. And anybody who's a business owner, self-employed, a hustler, knows that's going to be rare. It's like you wake up every day on trying to figure out how you're going to make that money and stuff. You know, you have to be that way as a hustler. But yes, you know what? Things are going pretty good. I wouldn't have got any less money, or it wouldn't have hurt me yesterday, or well, rather that day not to do anything. Right? So I was just like, I'm just going to chill out and stuff. But I love having the ability to do that. That's what his power is all about. That's why I talk about sovereignty. I remember when I had to work on jobs and everything, and I was, you got to be up at a certain time. You got to, get your clothes ready. Then you got to go in, and you might have to do a bunch of, get some type of energy drink or some type of sugar in you just to do the job. You got to go in and, be at least cordial to the person that if you saw him out anywhere in public, you'll bust him in the face. I'm always saying that. You're probably thinking, Rob just a thug. You always trying to bust somebody in the face. No, I'm peaceful. I'm very peaceful. But you still get that feeling, though, because even if you're a peaceful person, everybody know on some job there's somebody they prefer not to see for whatever reason. But you got to deal with it. You got to deal with that drama and stuff. And that, that's stress. I love the freedom. I don't have any stress that I don't want to deal with. I remember when I last worked a day job, right? Because I had the business going, but if anybody in business knows, sometimes you got to work that business and the job. You actually work harder when you're trying to put up a business. But I remember there was one point, I'm going into work every day, and I had to keep well stocked in like ibuprofen. I had to keep those pills on me because I was walking in with a headache every day. Now, I can honestly say, it's hard to remember the last time I had a serious headache. It didn't have anything to do with work or stress or anything like that. It was just actual, sinus something. It was like just whatever. And even now, because I still have bad sinuses and stuff, I don't get headaches. But that's because I have the freedom to do what I want to do every day. And that's what it's all about. When I talk about sovereignty, that's having as much control over your life as possible. I just did a video on control this past Friday. Just having that control, but you have that freedom. It's like you get the freedom to say, hey, you know what? I can work as hard as I want on this project. You don't get a bunch of bull or like on some jobs. Like I've worked everything from office jobs to retail to manual labor jobs. And it's always some level of stress, even if you like the job, because you always have somebody over you trying to, tell you to do it this way or that way. Or I've had supervisory positions, everything from the office to retail to like the street. And when I say the street, I actually had a job cleaning streets. You always, even if you supervise, there's always some level of stress. In fact, I remember one job I had where I had to supervise, it was probably, I don't know, 30, 40 people. I spent half my time either being a guidance counselor, psychologist, preacher, warden. It's like, it's just all the way around. But, I love that freedom now, because even now, because at some point, I'll say in about 6 months or so, probably in 2019, I'm going to expand my business where I'm taking on employees, probably several employees. And that's just more to, well, not just put more money in my pocket, but actually create jobs and more opportunities for people, right? But it'll be under, I don't have anybody to answer to besides myself. So that still won't be stressful, because then I can hire my crew, right? But I love being in a position to even think that way. I love the freedom. That's, I'm gonna tell you what, every man, and this ain't just for brothers. I know I got plenty of brothers on here. I mean, I would say it's especially for brothers, but it's for whoever's listening. If you're white, if you're Hispanic, Eskimo, Asian, if you listening, I mean, every man should have sovereignty. Every man needs to get to the point where he can have some control over his freedom. That should just be it. Now, like I said, it's going to be hard for some. It's going to be hard for many. But at least, if you have at least the idea that you're going to just go for it, that you're going to work towards that, that's better than nothing. That is better than nothing. It might be a case where you have to put in 20, 30 years someplace, but with the advances in healthcare, if somebody keeping themselves in shape, shoot, they could retire at 60 or 65, whatever it is, or whatever, depending on the job they're on. They still be out there doing stuff. I read a book the other day that was talking about microtrends, and the author was saying, yeah, you're going to see a lot of these older guys, 60s and 70s, getting theirs like crazy, getting women like crazy. So, I mean, but if you got to still go for it, you still got to go for it. And I love being in this position, man. I'm going to tell you what, I love being in this position. I love being in a thing where I can say, hey, you know what? I'm going to record this podcast at this time. I'm going to record it at this time. I'm going to talk about this subject. And then I'm going to edit it. Then I'm going to upload it. Then I'm, answer some comments on it and be done with it. And I love the freedom to do that, because I could easily say, I'm going to do this 2 hours from now. And I'm actually recording this earlier than I normally would start recording. I'm actually doing it way earlier. But there's that freedom thing. I'm going to chill out the rest of the day. And that's something I do anyway. But I love that. I love having that choice. I love, being able to do that. And that's one of the things. I mean, I know I'm known as a dating coach, but I'm bigger than that. I'm bigger than that, because at some point what I'm finding is I got a lot of guys, a lot of men who they already know how to get women. They trying to go to another level. And that's one of the things, instead of being known as a dating coach, I eventually want to be known as a sovereignty coach. Wouldn't that be hype, yo? Be known as a sovereignty coach. Teach people how to have sovereignty. Shoot, women too. But teach everybody. Say, look, this is how you live that life that you want to live. The freedom you want to have. And it's deeper than just money, though. Because sometimes people say, oh, if you just get enough money. But sometimes, depending on what you're doing, depending on how you get your money, that's not as much sovereignty either. Because then you stuck doing that, especially if you performing services for people. Because basically, in a way, they become your bosses. But that's something more for my business channel. But you want to work to get to that point. And I love it. I definitely love it. Anyway, y'all, that's it for today. I'm gonna enjoy my freedom in some other ways today too. Wink, wink. Anyway, y'all, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace and blessings.